Technology had chosen social gaming. This technology came from people playing games with each other even before the internet, ranked group play, multi-tap controllers, vertical split screens. We have people playing games together. Games have been more than a way for people to just bond, but they have helped people connect, solve strange HIV, solve real-world problems, struggle through pain and hunger, help people educate and learn for sport or even just to pass the time. To sports enthusiasts, this means a team that plays together, whether a professional league or a hobby. They're organized, meet regularly or casually. Those casual players play games together and have fun or as a means of hanging out with others. They may also play to stay healthy. That's why gyms have tennis courts, squash courts, volleyball, golf, or a pool for swim meets. Online gamers usually play to enjoy their entertainment with others. They want to experience the game and prefer to do so with cooperation, or other types of fun like competition, or enjoy a mix of both. Call of Duty has players that cooperate in teams to take down other teams competitively, so it mixes strategy. Young kids like to have exploration and discovery types of fun where they get to test boundaries in games like Minecraft, narrative games where you get to explore the story, or fantasy where you get to experience things that don't happen in the real world. Family use this time to bond with each other. Father and son play chess to teach strategy and bond. Mother and daughter play the same game, but only as something to do while they talk about their day. Doesn't matter the game, doesn't matter what family member. What matters is that they are using it as a catalyst to continue that dialogue, to continue that experience together. My mom uses her phone and has this app called Tango, in which every morning she will call my niece, who's 3 years old, before school, and they will play on this game, or the app called Tango, which lets them video chat and play games, so that they're experiencing time together and bonding. And it's not just because the experience of being together, but that game helps them focus. It helps my niece, that 3-year-old niece, focus enough to spend time with my mother. So without that game, she would have been on the phone and then tossed it. She wouldn't have been focusing, and they wouldn't have had that catalyst at which that social interaction takes place. Because of that, they're able to affect each other's lives in a different way than 3 or 4 times out of the year where they have to travel down to each other's houses. They get to experience each other's life every day, and that's a big impact. And social gaming has a volatile effect on one's behavior. Playing games in person versus online can lead to extreme changes. Because so many people harass people online, there's this internet wall where people act so differently than they would in real life because they aren't face to face. Amber Case in her TED Talk mentioned that we have two identities because of this online wormhole known as the internet. But we also see the opposite when we're looking at our own online identity. Millions of people meet playing games and form new friendships and networks. Players who go out of their way to help fellow gamers in need, instead of seeing hate from people who we see selflessness and support. Two players from different countries with different backgrounds meet in online World of Warcraft. Their online identities had so much in common that they spent more time together playing. And as they spend more time, they start learning about each other's real life, and they start doing things outside of that game, where they email and talk to each other on the phone, and then they finally meet in real life and eventually get married. This is a story called 15 Minutes of Fame on Joystick, where this people who never would have met without this technology. Now, Groom effect, where the process of doing that without this technology would have been too time consuming, where they're flying around the country and possibly meeting and spending time and money and patience to do that, would not have been that simple without this game. The conflict between ourselves and social gaming is gamer addiction, because, and it sounds funny, but so many people have this problem of losing the grasp of self-worth that they have. They play these games and people rely on them in the game. People relate to them and need them to complete the task. Without them, they can't be done. In the real world, this isn't the same thing. Everything you're doing, you don't know the purpose of them. There's a clear sense of purpose in games where we don't have that in real life, and that works over time on people's grasp of their own self-worth. People can easily get overlooked in a society of 6 billion people, or forget why they're important, because there is that clear sense of purpose then that we see while bagging someone's groceries may not have a huge impact in the real world, but we know in a game it will have consequences because it's designed to. Um, so, saving the world is important, but bagging groceries may not be. Um, Even though you might not be walking around asking yourself the purpose of every action or task, but subconsciously you may be having this conflict. Because of this, it's easier to understand why someone would rather spend their precious time playing hours and hours of games that have no real world value over going to a job that will help them support themselves and have value.